Chapter 24. Now, to one who contemplates how things are above, the analogue for all that has been previously stated will be understood. That is, he will understand how the aspect of the essence of the simple pleasure of the essential self of the infinite light, as it is before Tzimtzum, which is called the delight of the king in himself, is literally an infinite aspect. Moreover, he will understand that even the 10 essential Sephirot from Keter to Malchut of Ein Sof all derive their existence from the simple pleasure in his essential self. By way of analogy, even the essential kindness of the human soul derives its existence primarily from the pleasure of it. Nonetheless, in truth, the essential self of the infinite light is even beyond the aspect of simple pleasure. However, it is drawn after and radiates within the aspect of pleasure, just as the essence of the human soul is drawn after pleasure. It is for this reason that it was stated, there is nothing loftier than pleasure. For example, vested within the aspect of the desire for kindness in Hashem's essential self is the simple essential pleasure. It is drawn forth and radiates greatly until it descends and even comes into a separate matter. This separate matter is the aforementioned aspect of the primal pleasure and desire, Ta'anug v'Ratzon HaKadum, which follows the Tzimtzum to become the source for the entire chaining down of the worlds of Atzilut, B'riah, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. It descends further to the point that it is drawn down to the very end of everything, such as even the most final particular of the 10 Sephirot of the world of Atzilut emanation. This is understood by way of the aforementioned analogy of the pleasure which exists to give being to the emotional quality of victory, Netzach, and the like. This then is the meaning of the statement in Eitz Chaim that Atik Yomin and Arich Anpin, which are the pleasure and the desire, are one entity, and that the one cannot be without the other. Keter, which is the pleasure and desire, is invested within each and every Sphira, even in the most particular of specifics, for without this it can have no existence at all, as previously explained at length. Moreover, it also encompasses them all. Now, the aspect of Atik Yomin is considered to still be a part of the infinite world. This is because the infinite world is considered to continue until the aspect of Malchut of Adam Kadmon, which is the aspect of the letters of the end action which arose in the aforementioned primal thought and desire, Machshava v'Ratzon HaKadum. It is these letters which are the last level of the essential self that become the keter of Atik Yomin, which is the aspect of the revelation of the light of the pleasure from the aforementioned concealed pleasure and primal desire, Helem ha'oneg v'Ratzon HaKadum. Therefore, even keter of Atik Yomin and the Sephirot of Chokhmah, Binah, and the emotions which are within it are all considered to be of the end of the infinite world. However, this is not the case with Arich Anpin, which is the aspect of the revelation of the desire which comes because of the pleasure. Because the desire is drawn to spread forth below, it is called the beginning and root of the emanations, which refers to the 10 Sphirot of the world of Atzilut, both generally and particularly. It is for this reason that the aspect of Keter is generally called an intermediary aspect which possesses something of the last level of the essential self, but is the beginning of the emanated, because the lights of the emanated are in an aspect of the revelation of the concealed. They therefore are in an aspect of separateness from the essential self, as previously explained in chapter 19. By way of analogy, this is like the emotions of Chesed or Gvura for a separate thing which come from the power of the qualities of Chesed and Gvura of the self. Nevertheless, it is the aspect of the pleasure and desire which comes from the essential self which vests within everything in order to constantly give them existence, as mentioned previously. This is because the source of this pleasure and desire is in the essential self of the infinite light Atzmut or Ein Sof, and is called the delight of the king in himself, Shashuei HaMelech Ba'atzmo. This is similar to the aforementioned analogy of the soul, which is drawn after every pleasure, which is proof that the pleasure fills its light. If so, then this itself is the reason that it is from the particular pleasure within each of the particular emanations of light that they primarily derive their existence. This is true even until the aspect of Malchut, which is the quality of dominion. Were it not for the pleasure in it, it would have no existence. The absence of the light of the pleasure for something equals the absence of the light of its existence. This will suffice for those of understanding. Now, all of the above is only in a general manner. In a manner of particulars, however, it is only the aspect of the first 3 Sefirot of Atik Yomin which are considered to be part of the essential self. On the other hand, the 7 lower Sefirot of Atik Yomin become invested within the Gulgalta skull of Arich Anpin. Chesed, kindness of Atik Yomin, vests within the Gulgalta skull of Arich Anpin. Gevura of Atik Yomin vests within Mocha Stima'ah, the hidden brain of Arich Anpin, etc. This then is the meaning of the statement, the king who alone is exalted, who transcends the days of the world. This is because the coming into being of the desire from the pleasure is primarily from the aspect of the emotions of the pleasure as known. For example, chesed, kindness of the pleasure, vests within keter of the desire. By way of analogy, when a person is in a state of pleasure during the joy of his son's wedding or the like, he will then bestow goodness and abundant kindness upon everyone. This is because of the pleasure which uplifts his soul for the aforementioned reason. During such a time, he may be aroused to grant every desire. In other words, even a desire for judgment may be overturned to kindness. This overturning of the desire from chesed to gevura is dependent upon the aspect of the essential point of desire which is higher than the hidden reason for the desire, tam kamus leratzon, which divides into chesed and gevura, kindness and judgment. This then is an analogy through which one may understand how the aspect of chesed of Atik Yomin vests within the Gulgalta skull of Arich Anpin. Now the aspect of gevura, which is judgment, the opposite of pleasure, is what vests within chokhmah stima'ah, the hidden wisdom of Arich Anpin, which is the hidden reason for the desire, tam kamus leratzon. This is the precision of the desire, that it should be in one particular way and not in any other way. This is in accordance with what is written in books of Kabbalah, that the early Kabbalists decreed a statement that chokhmah is an aspect of judgment. This is because when desire comes according to the dictates of chokhmah, it comes with precision and restriction that it should be one specific way and no other. For this reason, there are many judgments in the laws of the Torah, since the Torah comes out of Hashem's upper chokhmah. In contrast, the radiance of the 13 attributes of mercy is from a level higher than the chokhmah of the desire, and can therefore pardon iniquity. Certainly this is the case in regard to the aspect of the first 3 Sefirot of Atik Yomin, which are not invested within the emanated. This is the aspect of the pleasure as it is within himself. As of yet, no desire has been born of it whatsoever, except that all desires are destined to come from it. It is considered to be a part of the general essence of the simple pleasure hata'anug hapashut, that is, it is from the aspect of the source of all pleasures in the essential self of the infinite light atzmut or Ein Sof. This is as stated, with you is the source of life, i.e. the source of all the pleasures within the primal desire for creation, Ratzon HaKadum. In the general totality of the chaining down, it is called Atika da'atikin, the ancient of the ancients. However, more particularly it is called Atik Yomin, the ancient of days, as stated in Daniel, and Atik Yomin Sat, etc. Atik, ancient, is a terminology of antiquity, which indicates the aspect of the eternity of the essential self of the infinite light as he comes to radiate within the chaining down of the line and thread. However, in regard to his actual essential self, it states, is there old age before the Holy One, blessed be he? This is in accordance with what is stated elsewhere regarding the matter of the word va'ed, forever, which through a permutation of letters equals echad, one, referring to the simple oneness himself. For when the essential self of the infinite light, which transcends even the time of Yemei Kedem, the days of old, radiates within time, then time too becomes eternal and is then called Atik Yomin, the Ancient of Days. This will suffice for those of understanding.